What is up, bros, and welcome to Apex Legends Season 3, where you can go from freezing your butt off in the frozen glaciers of the epicenter to swamp ass in just moments by riding a train to one of the molten lava sections. This beautiful map is World's Edge, and it is truly unlike anything we've seen in games these days. In this video, I'm going to cover the top 10 changes that are new to Season 3 and things that you should be aware of if you don't know already. First off, special thanks to Apex Legends for sponsoring this video. Season 3 Meltdown is available now for free in Apex Legends, so make sure you jump in and check out the brand new map, new legend crypto, new weapons, skins, battle pass, and much more. Click the link in the description box below to download Apex Legends Season 3 for a grand total of $0. That's right, this game is 100% free. My favorite thing about this game is just simply how fluid the gameplay is. Everything feels so natural while you're playing, and you can really see it from this gameplay. You never feel like you're trying to control a clunky box like so many other AAA games. Alright, now getting right into it, change number 1 is about the new map and just the overall new feel. Now, of course, one of the biggest changes in Season 3 is the new map, World's Edge, and like I said in the beginning, it is awesome. I've never seen a map with so much going on, not just with players in the lobby, but also in the environment of the map, all while running around so seamlessly. Playing Apex on a new map feels so fresh, and while it's still familiar, the games I've played so far are so much fun while learning the new areas to land, paths to run, strong positions to hold, and even the dangers in the environment. This map is larger than King's Canyon, with it being about 50% bigger. If the old map was a 4x4, then this map is closer to a 6x6. Now, if we split up the map into 4 sections, we can see it's almost like the map has all of the different elements mixed into it. In the top right quadrant, we have ice with huge frozen glaciers, frozen over skyscrapers, and snowy cliffs. We have earth in the top left, where you find the most mountain rocky terrain. Obviously, there's a ton of fire here with literal lava spreading along the entire bottom. That is probably the best looking fire and lava I've ever seen in a video game. In between, we have a bunch of really good looking areas like out of this world vegetation, swamps with water spouts that you can use like a relaunch balloon to get around quickly, and there's even developed towns with 5-story buildings that you can go inside. Now, by just looking at the map and the areas I've shown, you can see how this might affect gameplay, and you're 100% right. On the old King's Canyon map, the meta was very in-your-face rush style, and while you still want a third party to get an advantage with World's Edge, there are so many more long-range gunfights that happen with room to maneuver, and a big thing that I noticed was vertical gameplay. There were a few times where I would jump off of buildings to heal just out of habit because that's what we're pretty much all used to, but with my teammates, they were still fighting up on top. There were times where I couldn't get back into the fight quick enough after healing to help out with my team, and that would be the end of the run. The typical gunfight exchange has shifted, and I can't wait to figure out all of the best strategies and ways to maneuver around this map. Now, not all gunfights felt like that. There are definitely still places you can land where you'll feel right at home with hectic close quarter combat. The train that goes around the new map replaces the supply ships that were used from King's Canyon, and on the train you'll find a ton of hot drops happening with high tier loot and insane gunfights that feel like nothing else. There's even a control panel in the front of the train where you can have it stop and wait while you loot other areas before getting back on and starting it again. As of right now, World's Edge is going to be the only map available, but who knows, maybe they will introduce a way to play King's Canyon again in the future. Change number 2 has to do where with the previous map there weren't too many secret spots, Easter eggs, or even side goals to make you change up your game, but one of my favorite changes in this season are the new hidden loot caves that they've implemented. Now you can see me standing outside of one of the locked loot vaults we found, and from what I've learned, in order to access these vaults with fat loot, you're going to need to hunt down the new cargo bots that have taken place of the flyers. Once you've found a cargo bot, you'll see that they are changing in color based on the tiers of loot that are inside of it. You're going to need to shoot it down while it's on yellow, and if you get lucky, a keycard drops, and from what I've learned, that will grant you access to the new loot vaults. Now, I shot down probably about a dozen of these, but wasn't able to get a keycard yet, so that may have something to do with the countdown that appears on the vault doors, but I can't wait to get in there and learn even more. The third top change to the new season of Apex Legends is the addition of the new legend Crypto. Now, obviously, the addition of Crypto is one of the biggest changes in Season 3, who brings a completely different feel to the table when compared to the other legends. Crypto comes equipped with a recon drone that he can use for surveillance as his passive ability, with the drone detecting and scanning targets up to 30-meter distances. Crypto's tactical ability is the option to manually fly and control his drone that can even open up doors and get scans on enemies anchoring in buildings. The cooldown for his drone, if it's destroyed, is 40 seconds. Now, Crypto's ultimate is the drone EMP that charges up an EMP from your drone that has a blast radius that deals 50 shield damage, slows players down, and destroys traps. Now, if you've ever watched a pro game of Apex, you've seen how much Watson is used in the current meta, and this can directly counter that by flying a drone inside of a room and detonating it, destroying all traps and wreaking havoc on the players inside. Changes number 4 and 5 are the huge meta changes of removing the Skull Piercer attachment for the Longbow and Wingman, as well as removing Disruptor rounds for the RE45 and Alternator altogether. Those two attachments are being replaced by adding in 2 new attachments, with the first one being the Anvil Receiver that changes either the R301 or Flatline into single-shot weapons. When you use this attachment, it will increase the damage of single-shot firing while lowering the fire rate and using twice the ammo. The second attachment added into the game is the Double Tap Trigger. The Double Tap Trigger is a purple attachment for the G7 Scout and the EVA 8 shotgun. This attachment fires 2 rapid shots per trigger pull versus the one prior. Now, I tore some people up using this with the shotgun, and it's going to be really interesting to see how the meta shifts over the coming weeks. One thing I thought was interesting was this note by one of the devs where they say, for Season 3 weapon changes, our goals were to encourage and improve longer range gunfights and reduce the power on some of the weapons that have been dominating lately. We will of course be closely watching the data and the player feedback of these during the season. Now, that is definitely true. You can really see the mindset of that with these changes. Next up, we have the addition of the new weapon, the Charge Rifle, which can be found around the map as a regular drop. The Charge Rifle originally appeared in the Titanfall universe, and it is an energy sniper rifle which fires single round bursts of static electricity. The Charge Rifle can be equipped with extended energy mags, scopes, and sniper stocks. The Charge Rifle also only consumes 1 ammo per shot, so finding just 1 pack of energy ammo can be enough to cause massive damage. The targeting laser does deal a small amount of damage while charging up, and once it is fully charged, a powerful hit of up to 75 damage per body shot is fired out. This gun is amazing in medium distances, and you can really tell the devs wanted to change up the meta for a fresh feel, and they are definitely succeeding in that. This gun also fires pretty dang quick, so if you can keep your target on, this gun shreds. Now, next up are the gun tweaks that not a lot of people know about. Now, when they took away the Skull Piercer from the Longbow and Wingman, it wasn't just a straight nerf like a lot of people think. They actually counterbalanced this by increasing the base headshot damage with these weapons. Basically, if you weren't running a Skull Piercer before, this would be a buff. The base headshot damage of the Wingman went from 2 to 2.15, with the Skull Piercer previously taking it all the way up to 2.25. The same multipliers are applied to the Longbow, with it also receiving the same bump in headshot base damage to 2.15. Besides that, we have a nerf list with the R99 being at the top with these base mag size reductions, as well as added recoil randomness to patterns. This one hits pretty hard to R99 users out there, especially since this map really emphasizes longer range battles. Next up, the PDW received slight recoil randomness while keeping the same pattern when fired in full auto mode. The Longbow was also nerfed with a reduced fire rate of 1.3 coming down from the previous 1.6. Now, the weapon buffs are also game-changing, with so many people maining the G7 Scout after the increased base damage went from 30 to 34. This is a huge one because you can now 3-shot body shot kill someone with no armor versus the previous 4, and with a DMR like this, that is a big buff in my opinion. I'm predicting a lot of people are going to be maining the Scout for this coming season. The Hemlock also received a buff in base damage from 18 to 22, but also got a decreased rate of fire in both fire modes. The Mozambique now has decreased pattern spread as well as resets from recoil faster. Most likely, a lot of people aren't going to be looking for this weapon still though. And the last change is to the L-Star, where it received a substantial reduction in horizontal recoil and now comes equipped with a 1x digital threat. Now, the damage was reduced from 21 to 19, but I do think that it will still be an insanely good weapon. Next up, we have the buffs and nerfs coming to our legends, and again, if you weren't aware of the changes, it could get you killed, especially if you're a Pathfinder main and you try to go for a rappel somewhere and didn't know that you actually now have a 33% reduced grapple projectile velocity, meaning it takes a fraction of a second longer to connect to the grapple to the wall. Pathfinder's zipline also went from a 90-second cooldown to 120. Besides that, we do have a surprising buff to Bangalore, and with how much she is picked, I didn't see it coming, but her Rolling Thunder now deals 40 damage versus the 20 that was prior. Bloodhound and Gibraltar also received much needed buffs, with Bloodhound's Eye of the Allfather animation time activating 33% faster and now immediately tells you how many targets have been pinged. Bloodhound's Beast of the Hunt animation time to activate was also reduced by 30% and will receive a speed bonus of 30% instead of 25%. Gibraltar's Dome Shield is buffed, with players inside being able to use healing items 25% faster, and he also received a 60% throw distance increase. But he also is going to be receiving an increased cooldown from 20 seconds to 30. Not too big of a change, but still something to consider. Now, Gibraltar's Bombardment also got a 90-second reduction in cooldown from 4.5 minutes to just 3, but also at the cost of a 6-second duration versus his previous 8. Now, he also did receive a throw distance increase, and this one is by 36%. Now, it's also worth mentioning here that every single execution animation now gives a full shield recharge to the executioner, which was the perk of the Golden Armor last season. The perk of the Golden Armor is now the fast use perk, which the backpack had last season, and the golden backpack now has a new perk called Guardian Angel, where you will revive down teammates with bonus health and shields if they had any armor. The next change is going to be with how ranks are earned in matchmaking. In the previous season, you could deal all the damage to a player, but if somebody comes and takes the kill, you don't get anything to show for it. Now, with the new earnings, assists have been added to your overall score. Basically, you will now be rewarded for helping the team even if you don't get the kill on the actual enemy. So that's a really awesome change to rightfully reward each player on what they contribute to the match, especially when so much heavily depends on something like how many kills you get. Now, the next change also has to do with ranked, and it's a really awesome one. They are now going to be adding in cosmetic rewards for hitting certain ranks such as badges, gun charms, and dive trails that are completely unique to the rank earned. Now, these rewards cannot be bought. Now, this really shows good character from the game devs in my opinion, because that is completely for the player and there is no way to make any money off of that type of unlockable content because they will only be earned through the ranks. Anyways, bra fam, thank you for checking out this video. Don't forget to check out the link down below if you want to try out Apex Legends Season 3. Thanks again to Apex Legends for sponsoring this video, and be sure to let me know down below what are some of your guys' favorite changes and what are you looking forward to with this season the most. I'll see you all very soon in the next upload. I love you all. Peace.